Hey guys, it is currently 1:46 in the morning on June 18th, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the 15th through the 17th. I haven't worked on a ton, but I've been writing a bit more recently, if nothing else, which is something. On June 15th, I started with Books and Badges, and I wrote 544 words there. 152 in Graham, 212 in Pittman's Legend Valiant Fighter, 138 in King of Darkness. I filmed a few videos worth of clips for Days Gone, edited a Days Gone video, wrote 146 words in Rowan the Healer, 1,610 in Untitled Mystery Scenes, headed to bed, and I had a ton of back pain, trouble sleeping, so I fell asleep really late, so I slept in. So when I woke up, I didn't do any more writing, but I did edit one chapter of Letters from a Madman, and the written portion of my day brings my total for June 15th to 2,802 words. On June 16th, I edited a work in progress video and a Days Gone video, wrote 1,064 words in Untitled Mystery Scenes, filmed a Days Gone video, wrote 274 in TE, and this is important, and you might notice, I went from Rowan the Healer, and then besides Untitled Mystery Scenes, I skipped to TE, which means that I skipped The Gang War and Thundering Hooves. One is a Bo Austin Taylor book, one is a Young Bo book. Ever since I started really thinking about rewriting the Bo Austin Taylor series, I haven't worked on that book at all. And I've also considered rewriting the Bo or Young Bo series, and I haven't worked on that at all either. Because if I'm going to rewrite them, there's no point in continuing to progress in a story that the main aspects will change. The Young Bo series won't change as much. Young Bo is pretty much the same throughout. He has little variations between books, but he's not a drastically changing character in his teenage years. He gets a little more awkward, he gets a little less awkward, he becomes a little more receptive to certain people, he grows a little closer to certain people, but overall, he himself doesn't change. His mental state, especially, remains mostly the same. In the Bo Austin Taylor series, however, there's a huge decline in Bo's mental health. Some of it makes sense. Others is just because it was too much work for me to continue to allow him to develop naturally the way that he should have, because, again, the environment that I was posting those books on at the time that I was writing them was incredibly toxic to me, and the only way I ever felt like I accomplished anything was when I finished a book. So finishing chapters meant nothing, hitting word counts meant nothing, none of that was anything to me. And now that stuff is very important to me, and I'm very happy that I now have those littler goals. But it meant that I rushed through a lot of them, and I didn't give the characters the love they deserved. I cut out a ton of characters. There's almost none of the characters in those books anymore. Readers of the books, they noticed, some of them pointed out a little bit, but Jake, Bo's literal best friend, disappears throughout most of the books. We rarely see him. David, another one of Bo's very good friends, disappears, rarely see him. Cecilia, another great friend, rarely see him. They all live in the same damn town. Jake lives directly next door to Bo, and Cecilia and David either live directly across the street or the street over. They're all very close. All of their kids know each other. All of them know each other. They spend a lot of time together, and they just disappeared in those books because writing scenes with them was too much work because I needed to get to the end in order to feel like I was accomplishing anything. So I haven't made any progress in either of those books, and for the first time in a long time I've been skipping books, because there's no point in working in them, which feels weird because Bo has always been, since 2016, my favorite character to write. So not writing him recently has been surreal, but it's definitely the right call until I decide what I'm going to do. So on the 16th here, we skipped The Gang War and Thundering Hooves in favor of moving past the Bo Austin stuff, setting it for a later date, and moving on to TE, where I wrote 274 words. 182 in TFL, 140 in The Poisoning of John Doe, edited 2 chapters of Letters from a Madman, And then I had to make an eye doctor's appointment, so I called in for an appointment there. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've got a really weird bump growing under my top eyelid. My eye doctor called it, and I quote, the goofy one. I'm now on an antibiotic for it. We're seeing if that brings it down. If it doesn't, I might see an eyelid specialist to see if it needs to be removed and biopsied. But we're seeing what happens. But then, after I got my eye doctor's appointment scheduled, which I got it scheduled that day, which is impressive, that would never happen at the doctor's office, by the way. After that, I had to stay up because my appointment wasn't until 1 p.m., which is normally way past when I stay awake too. Except for when I'm laying in bed staring at the ceiling. Then I stay awake until 1 p.m., but that's not on purpose. So I continued trying to write a little bit, but I only managed 160 words in the beginning of a blog post that I still haven't finished. Left for the doctor's appointment, and then I got back close to 2 p.m., and then I went to bed, and then couldn't fall asleep despite how tired I was. So I ended up sleeping in until almost midnight, so I got no more writing done, no more editing, nothing. But I did write 1,820 words for June 16th. On the 17th, my tablet randomly started having issues that morning while I was working on books and badges. I plugged in my flash drive for the PlayStation. I plugged it into my tablet so that way I could move videos over from Google Photos and then put them on the PlayStation to edit videos, which is something I always do. I use my tablet for that. And all of a sudden, Google Docs crashed, and I don't know if it was related to me putting in the flash drive. I don't know. It's not broken, there's nothing wrong with it, there's no malware on it, but it crashed Google Docs, it crashed my tablet, and my tablet shut itself down. And I had to, keep hard shutting it down and then trying to power it back on, and no matter what I did, it wouldn't work, so eventually I unplugged it and let the battery die, and I haven't touched it since, so I'm just gonna let it sit there for a little bit. But because of that, while I was hoping that it would still work, while I was shutting it off and shutting it or turning it back on, I did the first and second passes of a Days Gone video because there were too many clips in it, so I needed to edit it twice. Wrote 1,824 words in Untitled Mystery Scenes, which I did on my phone and with my Bluetooth keyboard. There you go, now you can sort of see it. Which is very nice to have for occasions where my tablet is being an asshole. 406 words in Books and Badges, which was on the computer because I can't type on it on my phone because the document's too big. Headed to bed, woke up relatively on time. I only slept in a couple hours, which was mostly because I needed to take my antibiotic. Wrote 220 words in Graham, and then edited 3 chapters of Letters from a Madman, and written total, we're looking at 2,450 words for June 17th, and that brings my total for June so far to 29,970 words. So, things so far have been hit or miss, but overall, I'm happy with the progress that has come through June. Primarily, it's been Letters from a Madman focused, and it will continue to remain that way. I'm currently on the final edit of it. That's what I'm doing. It's the proofread. And then after that, I just have to do some cover designing, some more format for the large font, some formatting for the ebook, cover or back of the book description, Goodreads page, blog page, Amazon page, Facebook advertisements, Instagram advertisements, Twitter advertisements. And I have to make all of those, and then I record that process, and then I edit all of those videos, but I don't have to start editing those right away or anything like that. I'm just editing them, several weeks after they're filmed. But I'm happy with the progress that I've made on Letters from a Madman this month, and I'm happy with the decisions I've made this month when it comes to books being shelved, or in the case of Beau and both of those books, temporarily suspending progress on them until I know what I'm doing. That's a smart decision, which is not a decision I would have made even a couple months ago, so I'm proud of myself for that. And I'm even more proud of myself for the other decisions I've made this month unrelated to writing. I normally wouldn't ask for anxiety meds, but that's a decision that I finally did, and I'm happy as hell about it. I feel great. I called the eye doctor's place without I didn't have a panic attack. My heart didn't start racing. It wasn't hard to breathe. I just called the damn doctors and made an appointment. My anxiety was so bad that when I would send messages to people that I know online, my heart would race and my chest would get really tight and it would feel like someone was crushing my chest because I couldn't breathe. And those were messages to people that I actually physically know. But that's how bad my anxiety was. And today, or yesterday, whatever, I sent several messages back and forth in an active chat forum where beforehand even watching the messages gave me anxiety, and I didn't have any issue. I feel great. I don't know if it will remain that way. I don't know how things will continue to go, but in the anxiety realm of things, I feel unbelievably better than I have in years. It's done a little bit, I think, for my pain. I don't notice that my knuckles hurt as much. My knees still hurt a little bit when I sit down for extended periods of time, but I no longer wake up with super intense knee pain. I don't feel it super bad in my shoulders just by existing, but my shoulders do still hurt when my jaw hurts, which again is unrelated to my chronic pain. That's chronic TMJ. And I feel good. I'm not pain-free, obviously, but I feel much better. And that's a decision that I made, here. And I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very pleased with that decision. And I don't know it's a decision that I would have made even a month or two ago, but I've been working on getting things sorted out, and my thyroid's been level for so long and I'm still in pain, and I wanted something done about it because no one deserves to live in pain every single fucking day of their lives. And that goes for anyone. You don't deserve to be in chronic pain all the time. If you can get it lessened even a little bit, it's so much better. Like I said, I'm still in pain, but any lessening of that is incredible. And I'm very happy that I finally made that choice. And I feel like since I've started the anxiety meds, I feel much clearer in my head, much more constructed, I guess. Like, I don't struggle as much to come up with words to fill out the ends of my sentences, and I don't constantly lose track of where my sentence began or where it was initially supposed to end. I feel much more put together, which is something that I haven't had in quite a long time, and that feels great. And I'm hoping that it continues that way, and I'm hoping that as the meds take even more hold, that gets even better. But that's another June progress thing that I'm very, very happy with. My channel doesn't have to be writing 100% of the time. But that's all that I have for this particular work in progress video. Despite word counts being relatively low, despite the fact that I probably won't hit my 60,000 goal this month, I'm happy with the progress I've made, both in the writing realm, the editing realm, and then I guess technically not both. This would be 3 things. And in the personal life realm. I'm just very happy with the progress that I've made in June. So, hooray for that. But, that's all that I have for this one. If you enjoyed this video, a like is always appreciated. And if you'd like to stay updated on my writing, my editing, the gaming videos I upload roughly every Friday, or anything that I do on this channel in between, feel free to subscribe. All the links to my authors pages, as well as links to my social media, are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.